I think one night they put 25,000.
Men's has actually been fixed, and the men have to use a code also, and it's the same code. So just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So let's go ahead and we're going to bring up our guest speaker because he has another obligation. So I promised he could go first. So Vincent Coleman, our Director of Government Relations at Columbus Realtors, we're happy to have you. Come on up. So, oh yeah, let me give you the mic so that our outside offices can all hear you. Can I just stick it right?
They made a mistake of giving me a mic. Well, good. Well, thank you for the invitation and good to see you all again. Vincent Coleman, I'm your Government Affairs Director with Columbus Realtors. And ultimately, what I am is your liaison, your lobbyist, your one-stop shop to know everything what's going on in government. I am with Columbus Board. We're local, so I am with 7 counties in the Central Ohio region. Of course, we have Andrew Hupp and his shop that handle the State House, and of course, our folks with NAR at the federal side of things. But I'll preface this by saying that we have expanded our government affairs team. Unfortunately, my cloning machine is broken, and I can't be in all places at once. So in order for us to be responsive and reactive rather than, or proactive rather than reactive in many cases, we have now expanded our team. So Juliana Banky is our government affairs manager. You should see her around here soon, but again, helping us out in the outskirts because we know that there are things that are happening that we need to protect you all and continue to advocate for realtors. Point of sale inspection requirements, zoning, property tax reform, rental registries, and a lot more are what we're up against this year. Those are kind of evergreen issues, but as we continue to grow, municipalities in their own way try to respond to that in creative ways. We have to be responsive to that. Why? Our bread and butter issues are protecting private property rights, promoting homeownership, fair housing policies, and everything that kind of trickles in between. But as we know, real estate touches a lot of different things and is one of the main drivers of economic development. You can't have housing without economic development, both on the commercial and residential side. And so that's what our advocacy is. And so that's, again, what we're up against. We'll start with the State House. I'll go locally and then can open up for some questions. I apologize, I'm kind of in and out. Our president, Buffy Patterson, is with the Mortgage Bankers Alliance, and I want to support her in that day. At the State House, obviously we're going through a operating budget, the largest piece of legislation that the state will see, and as such, housing is top of mind. This is a legislature that prior to 2023 did not see housing as an issue, but as all of us know in this room, it has always been. And so finally, they're putting their money where their mouth is in terms of addressing things like property tax reform, incentivizing development for single-family homes. And Ohio Realtors, through the Greater Ohio Policy Center, has recently rolled out a guidebook or a tool for local governments to adopt to have some infill development, infill housing. We know that we need to grow. We know that we're behind the 8 ball, quite frankly, and that we're not building enough. And our advocacy is smart and responsible growth. And as a part of that, that guidebook, it comes with kind of 2 pre-approved structures, duplexes, triplexes. It comes with zoning, state approved zoning requirements, but also zoning recommendations. And so if a developer comes in, let's say to Worthington or here in Westerville, we're in Westerville, right? Or we're in Columbus? Okay, sorry. Westerville adjacent. They have that tool all ready to go. It shuts down bureaucratic red tape, closes down the time and therefore the cost to build and construction cost, and therefore mitigates and decreases the cost on the consumer. So we're running around and really we're coming up to talk to what's called the Central Ohio Mayors Alliance to get that up and rolling so that we can continue to be creative and really addressing that missing middle housing. Now you have you're renting at $1,200, and if you want to make that step, now you're looking at your first home at $500,000. folks that are in these big homes, 3,500, whatever square feet, that want to downsize, there's not enough inventory or options. And so with this new guidebook, with this, encouraging municipalities to adopt creative ways to infill, especially with vacant property, we know that we can increase supply, therefore meet the demand, and hopefully come down on costs. When we talk about property tax reform, we know we're all facing that burden. School levies are bringing more and more, or school districts are bringing more and more levies. It cannot come down to residents to foot that bill. You're already taxed enough, right? And so as a large part of our advocacy in the State House, it's really property tax reform, increasing the homestead exemption. When we have states like West Virginia and Pennsylvania, where their homestead exemption is almost 1.5, 2 times that of ours, that's ridiculous, right? Ohio is on the map, as we know. Central Ohio in particular is on the map. We have a lot of investments coming in the region, a lot of data centers, a lot of, you got Honda, you've got the new Anduril coming down in Pickaway County. So it's a tale of two cities, right? Central Ohio continues to grow as a region. However, Ohio as a state is kind of decreasing in population. And so as a result, with property tax reform, again, the homestead exemption, there's a provision, and I'm happy to come back, after the state budget actually passes, so I can speak in absolutes. But what we're really advocating for is a provision that passed in the House last week, was a provision that would require county budget divisions to review school districts. So when they come to the ballot, there's a cap on how much they can ask, particularly if there is a 30% rollover from the previous year. So hopefully we'll start, if schools come back to the ballot, it's less dollars. I use Marysville as an example, in that last year they had a school levy that, it was astronomical. But they come back to the primary this May, where it's $16 per $100,000 of assessed value versus the $176 that it started with. And so with this, hopefully it passes, and it's a step. It's not enough, but it's a step in the right direction in terms of mitigating against, again, school districts coming to you, asking for more dollars. That increases your property taxes and ultimately hurts you in the pockets. Lastly, what I'll say at the State House is that there are some provisions that what's called the Welcome Home Ohio program that incentivizes single-family home development, but also incentivizes developers on that housing affordability aspect, because we know that we need to do something. We're a Housing for All association, that we need housing at all price points, and we need a diversity in housing so that we can truly meet the demand of folks that are coming to the region. And housing affordability looks different than, for different people in different communities. And that's, part of our advocacy. On the local side of things, and I'll start with these two things and kind of end here and open it up for questions. We all know what the act of wholesaling is. Columbus is the first local association in the state to pass wholesaling regulations. Now, I'll say that the legislation that was passed in the city of Columbus is not perfect. It does have teeth in that the fines and violations that come with those that are acting in a predatory manner, it has some teeth. If it's an LLC, that's a $10,000 fine right off the bat. If it's an individual, it's a $1,000 fine for the first offense. Second is $2,500, and therefore it goes up. And these things start to layer. So it's not just hitting the person on the ground and a slap on the wrist, but it's the person that's behind it, the ultimate business, right? The umbrella, as I say. So this is the only time that you'll ever hear me say that we are pro-registry, and that what passed in Columbus was a registry that requires wholesalers to enter into. It's a $50 one-time fee. We advocated for licensed real estate professionals, so everybody in this room to be excluded from that requirement, as well as licensed attorneys. Those aren't the folks that we're trying to go after. It's the folks that are using aggressive tactics, that are fleecing consumers out of equity. Again, it's not perfect, but as we continue to educate our surrounding municipalities on the issue, we can put some pressure on our folks at the State House to pass Senate Bill 155, which will require disclosures statewide. And I think that's important, because that adds transparency to the process. Before entering into contract with a wholesaler, along the lines, and the language is still being put together, but understand I'm a wholesaling agent, I'm unlicensed, I'm in it to make a profit. Work with a realtor or an attorney before entering into contract to know the true value of your home to get the true amount of equity out of it. Again, not perfect, but we put something in place, and Columbus Realtors led the way. And so I thank everyone in this room for those that were involved in that process. Secondly, are there any property owners, landlords in the room? I bet you didn't know this, and I'll kind of come back to it, but Columbus, and I mentioned Columbus a lot, and Columbus drives the proverbial bus as it pertains to policies. It's the largest, not only by size, but also by constituencies. And so other municipalities look to Columbus and they try to adopt these policies. We saw that with source of income. We saw that with rental receipts. We see it with zoning, which is kind of a positive. But they all talk to each other. They network. And what they were proposing was a 180-day requirement from a landlord to tenant of a rent increase. 6 months. We said that's entirely too much time. State law is 30 days requirement if you're going to increase rent to inform your tenants. Common practice is 60, 90 days. So we came to him and said, hey, 60 is it? Anything more than that, it's the unintended consequences, you're hurting the very people you're trying to help. Rents are going to go up immediately. So, and I'm very proud of this. What started out at 180 days, it came to us and said, well, how about 90 days? Well, that's better. They said, well, what sparks a 90-day requirement is a 3% or more increase in rent. Immediately I said, that's rent control, and that is not good public policy. I said, okay, what do you think? I said, well, if a landlord or someone needs to increase rent, we see it's between maybe 6 or 8%. So more than that, we think that it's fair. But this 90-day notice needs to come down to 60 days. They met us where we were and said 60-day notice. What would spark a 60-day notice is a 10% more increase in rent. So using simple numbers, if your rent's at $1,000 and you need to increase it by 100, that would require a 60-day notice. Anything less than that is business as normal. And that goes into effect July 1st of this year. And so I have an ask to this group in that please continue to take this and inform folks that you're interfacing with, because there is a provision, and we were fighting against this, and that failure to give that notice is a first-degree misdemeanor offense that carries up to a $1,000 fine, 6-month prison time. Failure to give a notice, you're now a criminal. We're fighting that to make it a civil. I think we're making some inroads on that. Again, I don't want to speak in absolutes or get ahead of my skis, but the conversations that we have, we're making some good progress. But again, that goes into effect July 1st of this year. And so anyone that's parallel or interfaces with property owners, please let them know. Yes, ma'am. It's only for residential. And as I say, it's often the times of stuff that you do not hear about, where we are advocating on your behalf to protect the realtor brand and the realtor industry. I opened up with point of sale inspections and rental registries, 2 very bad pieces of public policy. And so last October, the Department of Development for Columbus, through their notice to council for a committee meeting, had the point of sale inspection as an item, had rental registries for an item. We quickly got on the phone and said, called all members of Congress. The Director Stevens, Department of Development, called me directly. I didn't even know he had my cell number. But we talked to him and said, why is this bad? And guess what? That Monday, a retracted committee notice was sent out. Point of sale inspection was removed. Rental registries were removed. And so we kicked that can down the road. However, we know that it could come back at any time. And so that's why our board of directors this year adopted an additional policy item to be responsive to regulatory issues such as point of sale inspections and such as rental registries, so that we can be nimble and very responsive to these things. And that's where I need your help. Have you all heard of the Central Ohio Realtor Political Action Committee, CORPAC? Without CORPAC and having the relationships that we do, not just in Columbus, but in the Central Ohio region, but in the examples that I've given you, who knows what would have passed on July 1st, or will be a law July 1st. Without our relationships, and bringing wholesaling to the table and having them listening to understand rather than just hearing to listen, we would still be fighting that battle. But we've got something in place. We talk about the rental registries and explaining why that's bad public policy. We are able to leverage our relationships through CORPAC. And yes, I know the politics might shy some folks away, but it's a tool in our toolbox, right? To protect the industry. You all have home insurance. Maybe you have car insurance. I know you have health insurance. If you're like me, you've got pet insurance. I've got a German short-haired pointer that, if you know the breed, it gets in trouble. I love my boy, but I don't want a $3,000 vet bill, so I got pet insurance. And so with CORPAC, why not insure your business? Why not insure the industry? And so my ask here today is to at least educate yourself on CORPAC. And if you feel so inclined, invest. Invest what you can. It truly is a tool that we have. This year is a local election year. We've got a lot on the ballot. We know that the NIMBYs, not in my backyard folks, are in full swing. And we need help. I will say two things about CORPAC. We do not buy votes. We do not buy votes. That's highly illegal. And I love my job. I love the members. I love you all. But I look terrible in orange. And I think I do a better job outside of prison than I do in. So we do not buy votes, and it truly is a nonpartisan. We give to both sides. Why? Property rights, ownership, housing, development. That's not a blue issue. It's not a red issue. It's a people issue. And so that's why we are the Purple Party, and truly allows us to support candidates that support us. That goes back to, we'll listen to understand, so that when there is an issue related to real estate, and there's a lot of issues related to real estate, we have that seat at the table. We can come to the bargaining table and be able to compromise, make it more palatable, and protect realtors, right? Because you all do great work, and we will make sure you continue to do great work and not have these bureaucratic overreaches, so to speak, right? Because that's what governments like to do, unfortunately. Trying to find a solution for a problem, looking for a solution for a problem. I might have butchered that, but you know, I think I had a question with.
I just wanted to touch on point of sale and I think that you're saying point of sale and they probably don't know because I.
Sorry, that's a good call out. You want to explain how that went?
So what it is there's an inspection by the city or municipality that instead of an inspection with your home inspector, the city is inspecting the property and they're saying, before you can sell this house, before you can transfer ownership from one person A wants to buy, person B wants to sell, the government gets involved and says, no, sorry, until you fix this, and this, and you have to use one of our people to do it.
Which adds costs, which adds time, and it's a complete overreach of government, and that's what we're going against. I think I had a question, lady in the blue. Sure. Thank you, Jensen. Yeah, thank you. Good call out. Paul, and then.
Budget that is very pro housing oriented. That need for higher sales. Just that you allocated a lot of money towards housing. What's that mean?
So it's a lot of money toward housing affordability, and I meant to hit on this too, but it's akin with Zone N, the zoning reform that Columbus is going through. They passed that last July, and we were supportive of phase one. They were calling for, and I think it's an ambitious number, but 88,000 additional units along the main corridors where COTA, the Central Ohio Transit Authority, the buses you see, those service lines, really advocating for density, but also affordability. So there's incentives with different structures that you can go up to 10 or 12, so much as there is a housing affordability component to that. And that, by definition, is what they're saying is 30% or less of the what's called area median income, parallel to what's the federal poverty level. Anything more than that is considered cost burden. So that's that affordable housing component. There's also incentives for developers, right, to build. And our advocacy at this point is yes, we need to meet the demand, but it's not just building apartments. We need to have ownership options. And that comes in different ways, townhomes, condos, duplexes, things of that nature, truly addressing that missing middle, adding a diversity in the market. And so that's in a nutshell what they're looking to do. There are some kind of things of landlord and tenant issues that we're going to be on top of. Mayor Ginther just announced last night at his State of the City, $500 million bond in November. That will be detailed at a later date at council, so I don't have all those details. But really hitting on that housing affordability component, but also being able to build more. And his commitment, and he's on record saying he wants to have 100,000 over the next 5 years. I had one in the back, Nick, and then Dolly. There are a slew of bills that are in the legislature right now. As I mentioned with the caps on property tax for our folks on fixed incomes, for our seniors, homestead exemptions. Right now, we're trying to put that all in the state budget. So I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. I apologize, but through Dale, I can forward it on to you all for your information. But yes, there are bills that are moving both on the House and Senate side, so that we can be able to can move on all fronts, right? So. The state budget hits precedence. That is precedence, and that's it's by law to be signed by the governor July 1st. So that's why we are moving forward with putting provisions in the budget to get those bills that are individual, those into the ultimately the budget that hopefully will be passed on the 30th of June. So meant to. That's correct. Yep.
Chamber of Commerce to property taxes as we do them in the state of Ohio in a big comprehensive way. It is maybe the most complicated thing ever, property taxes and how we do it in the state of Ohio, how it affects schools, how it affects levy, outside village, I mean, all sorts of things. And Ohio Realtors is spending a lot of money to be a part of this coalition because we want that seat at the table.
100%.
Because that won't happen at Benson's level citywide. It'll happen at state level. Property taxes are a state issue, citywide. Some of them, I just wanted to touch. You had said up to 10 to 12. Part of this whole rezoning thing in addition to the housing affordability is you're going to see Columbus is finally getting over its fear of heights.
Yeah. Density is not a bad word.
And saying that sort of jokingly, look around the city of Columbus, the exception of downtown, you do not have tall buildings.
Yep.
Certainly don't have tall residential buildings. And you're going to see that change quite a bit because of, you just don't have the land mass, and the NIMBYs are sort of keeping us within our circle in the city of Columbus. So you're going to see along those major corridors, because talking about another complicated issue. Yeah, you can build all this housing, but people have to get places.
That's true.
Right? And you've got the CODA lines, you've got bypass, all that kind of stuff. And Columbus, my hat's off to the city of Columbus because they are thinking way ahead and they're way out in front of any of the other municipalities surrounding, certainly even here locally. And Benson's in on all those conversations. That's his job. And one more plug for CORPAC. I do it everywhere I go. This, for Vincent to be in the room, he has to have relationships with these public servants that we have, the elected officials. And we do that through supporting them on the ballots and while they're running for election. We do that with money, okay? So, I cringe when I hear people request that you donate to CORPAC because it's not a donation. It's clearly an investment in our business. in not just our sales business, but our compliance and how real estate functions, both locally, state, and federally. So, keep supporting him. Vincent does a great job. I'm a big fan. I'm with Paul. Do not delete his 3 for Thursday. Read every single one of them because he hits on all the points on all 3 levels. The 3 is local, state, and federal.
Yeah.
He hits all those. So it's a quick way to bring yourself up to speed on what's going on. He's really good. Every now and then you'll get one on like a 7:30 on the third. Not about it, but.
It gets out on Thursdays though. Yeah.
We actually have a slide.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have that later in our
Great
presentation.
great information and, Vincent, thank you for doing it. Thank you for coming with that.
Thank you.
I actually have one more question.
I think Taylor, and then I'll go to you.
I was just gonna ask you, part of our housing shortage for some of the meetings I've been attending has been because of like our water, our infrastructure, our electric and all of that. The zoning, the permitting and all of that that goes along with it is taking longer, and that's obviously contributing to our shortage of housing and our shortage of inventory. And I know they've compared us like Indianapolis, Boston,
Yep.
and they're doing a lot more starts per year to, narrow that gap.
Yep.
Are you guys involved in any of that? Like, we have so many municipalities where they regionalize
Yep.
their water
Yep.
and different. So if there's any of that being discussed?
100%. Yeah, I have mentioned zoning so much. I think folks are tired of hearing me saying it, but it truly is a tool for housing and to meet the demand. And to that point, going back to Nick's point with Zone N, modernizing the zoning code, Columbus was operating with under a zoning code of the 1950s. That's not feasible for today, right? And it takes a lot of time. Time means money, and that ultimately gets passed on to the consumer. So yes, zoning is a large part of our advocacy, continues to be. In fact, the city of Columbus has provided an update, and this is on the commercial side of the ledger, on 161, State Route 161, Dublin Granville Road. They, again, rolled out phase 1, and I'll say they're not doing enough. They're not doing it fast enough. And we had a joint letter with the BIA and the Apartment Association saying, hey, we applaud the efforts, but insert expletive here, move your butt. So, and so with this commercial activity, that was something that we advocated for last year. Again, we through BIA and through other pinpoints, finally got that to where it is today. It should be passed. The public comment period closes on the 24th of May. If anyone is interested ever in attending or speaking, let me know. I'm happy to. I often say, like, the politicians see me all the time or hear from me all the time to where they roll their eyes, or maybe I roll my eyes, but they need to hear from you, right? The constituencies. How is it affecting your businesses and your day-to-day and your clients? And so that parallel truly does move the needle. Then on that last point, as I mentioned with the guidebook that we rolled out, it does have some zoning recommendations for smaller municipalities that don't necessarily have the resources that a Gahanna or a Riddlesburg or Columbus does to hire an outside consultant, all to say that you need more housing. Well, no shit, right? So, and so, we're working with Worthington on their comp plan. We're making inroads in Pickaway County and parts of Circleville. And when I mentioned the moratoriums on residential and commercial development, places like Marysville and Commercial Point are trying to implement that. And that pretty much would be blocking for a period of time any development. And again, these municipalities talk to each other. And that's the last thing that we need, is to stymie development and housing, because guess what? We're not going to have the Intels. We're not going to have the Hondas. We're not going to have all of these investments in Central Ohio. And guess what? Folks are going to start to leave. And the old adage, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I hate to see Columbus get into that effort, and Central Ohio, quite frankly. And so, long-winded answer, yes, we are involved in those conversations and continue to push that needle and encouraging folks to update their zoning, again, to reduce the time that it takes for development because of the bureaucratic red tape and all that. So I think I have time for one more question. Yes.
question, probably 6, 7 years ago, when I first come to my leader's office, with somebody from Columbus Board of Realtors, I think there's a policy in place.
Yeah.
My question is, do we have the execution plan, how we will listen? Because we have this discussion and no wholesaling group. People are smart and very sophisticated.
Yep.
So what's the plan in play at this point? We can share.
So the question was, how is the wholesaling being policed? One, the registry is being housed with the building and zoning services with Columbus. To Paul's point on the budget, they did allocate more funds to have more staff to be able to monitor that registry. I think ultimately what it comes down to is reporting from the consumer. And again, it's not perfect. And we're going to work out the kinks. And if we have to go back to the drawing board, that's not a bad thing, right? You know, you have the Ohio Revised Code, emphasis on the word revised, and that thing is being updated and looked to be updated every day. And so we understand that the enforcement aspect. Here soon, we'll have some education campaign, both from our side as a board, as well as from the city of Columbus. Again, educating the consumers, hey, here are 5 things to look out for, right? And so again, putting the power back to the consumer, educating so they think twice before they see a nice, handsome person come in, offering them a cash value before they run away with their money. So that was my next point. I need your help with that. July 1st of this year, it goes into effect. And so when you're interfacing with clients and you're hearing about this, please inform them that, hey, come to a realtor. Go to an attorney before you go into this, because once you do, you're going to lose out. Right? And ultimately, too, I think it's protecting the realtor brand, not, protecting consumers first and foremost. But when you're a realtor versus a real estate agent, the common consumer does not know that distinction. And so if I'm gonna pick on Mick, come to Mick as a wholesaler, I make out like a fat rat. He's like, well, all real estate agents are bad. And he's gonna parallel that with realtors. So then Jensen comes in as a realtor and says, Mick, let me sell your home. He goes, no, you guys are scumbags. So it's protecting the realtor brand ultimately. And so, yes, I need your help into educating your clients and everybody. I know that we are doing our due diligence and trying to introduce or at least educate our surrounding municipalities. We know that Grove City just had a great conversation with the mayor about it, Gahanna, Reynoldsburg, Whitehall, and trying to have conversations in Marysville, but we're making our rounds. And I need your help.
Obligations, not just to affect the consumers, but a lot of this wholesaling that's going on is elder abuse.
Correct.
If they're paying on older people who have owned their homes for 30, 40, 50 years, have no clue, wouldn't even dream that their homes would worth what they're worth. They're coming in saying, I'll give you this X. It's like $80,000 less than what it's worth without touching it. We as realtors have an ethical obligation to the public of the true value. And that's what they're trying to get to. They're trying to get, and that's what the state's trying to do.
Correct.
Disclosure form saying that, hey, I understand I'm selling this for $80,000 less than fair market value. Because guess what? That's their right to do also, if they understand.
Correct.
We just want to make sure they understand.
Transparency. Yep.
Quick, I'm so sorry. I think you said when you were talking about wholesaling that it's gonna be for them, wholesalers have to be transparent, say you should talk to an attorney or you should talk to.
It's on, it's, yeah, disclosure. They have to say that. Correct. Well, thank you all again. I hope this was helpful. Appreciate you. Good. No, thank you. All right.
And we will have you back. Oh, let me have my mic back. So- And to piggyback on the elder abuse, it goes beyond just wholesaling. You have an obligation as an agent. I don't know that many of you know that if you know that someone is being physically abused, mentally abused, or anyway, that is considered an elder person, you have to report it. We had a situation in our office fairly recently and went through the process of reporting it and so forth. So keep that in mind. If you have a situation like that come up, you do have an obligation to report it. I actually heard on a call this morning I was on that one of the new things happening as a scam is that people are selling their homes. They're preying again on people that are older and they're getting a hold of their information and sending them letters in the mail, emails, calling them and saying, your warranty is not in effect. You need to do this. And they may not even have a warranty, but they're scaring them to the point where they're giving them money and they're actually getting their accounts. Then they're taking money beyond that. So one of the things that you should be doing as you're talking to your clients is let them know, if you get anything, call me. Ask me if this is legitimate, because people are getting scammed out of thousands and thousands of dollars over utilities, home warranties, and different things like that from third parties saying, you have to do this or you're not going to have whatever working for your home. So anyway, that's just a great segue to add that. All right. Instead of filling buckets, we're filling baskets today with the spirit of the season. So thank you, Lily. I love that. I'm going to start. I would like to first off fill Bob McCarthy's basket because Bob was actually at an event when I was in the hospital and said, hey, I'm talking to Vincent Coleman and he can come to our office meeting. Can we have him in? So thank you, Bob. That was awesome. Secondly, I would like to fill everybody's bucket that has reached out to me with calls, texts, flowers, all kinds of things. I appreciate you all. You know what? We take our health for granted. And to be totally healthy and running like crazy 1 minute and then within a few hours being totally incapacitated, until you go through that, sometimes you don't realize. So I'd like to thank all of you and fill your baskets for your support and everything over the last couple of weeks here in my life. So
Run again.
I'm running again. That's right. And I'm happy to be running again. So who else has a basket to fill? Don't be shy. Come on. Bob.
Fill the same baskets every month, but the staff, I mean, everybody goes above and beyond for us, and I really appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you. We appreciate that. So I'm waiting for somebody. Liz Scott must not be on the call. I figured she would be filling Mick's basket because Mick spent the last 3 days cleaning out the storage room. So that was a major feat. So we have a cleaned out storage room. So awesome for that. Who else has a basket to fill?
I'll fill Liz and the Dixon team's basket. They really, really helped so much in getting Saturday's event off the ground, and it's been great because Liz is very organized and gets everything done, and I really can appreciate it.
Yes, we had a great Easter egg hunt client event and also thank you guys who participated and got your clients here because, you know, that's what makes those events successful, and for the committee for doing a fantastic job. And the committee has a lot going on and we'll get more to that here in a minute. So any others? Dave, you look nice today.
Wow, need a new shot.
He's preaching somewhere.
It's an AI meeting, whatnot that's taking place here. I have the conference room in the Westerville office, and it's talking to multifamily investors. I've got attorneys, contractors, lenders, all meeting from 1 to 4, lunches provided to talk about the multifamily world. And how people are taking advantage of these, different opportunities that are out there. It's me and my team's very first time doing this. If you already are fully aware of how to do AI and you don't need to attend that class, I invite you and bring any clients that you have up to the Westerville office. Please let me know because I need a head count for lunch. But it is my team and I's first time. We're hoping to start this and do it quarterly. But I invite you and all of your clients to come and attend the meeting on Monday.
Very good. Thanks, Dave.
Good, but
New shot.
Right, how would you do it?
Anybody else?
Say Monday.
Dave, what time Monday? Is it 1? Okay, very good. Training room
Great.
at the current Westerville location at 550 Polaris Parkway. So, okay, anybody else? Basket to fill. All right, let's move on. April birthdays. If you have an April birthday, raise your hand. Happy birthday to you. All right, let's move on. How about April anniversaries with Keller Williams? We love having our anniversaries with you. Raise your hand. All right. Also, I would like to welcome our newcomers. If you're in the room, when I call your name, I want you to stand up and stay standing. We have Chanel Reynolds, Jenny Twig, Taylor Klein, Jose Fernandez, Chris Sanford, and William Henderson this month. So I would like for you guys to introduce yourselves. Just tell us a little snippet about you so we know who you are. So we'll start with you.
Right, my name is Jose Fernandez, also go by Jose. Part of the Powerhouse team here, really happy, to be, in the county. I was raised in Columbus most of my life. My parents are from Colombia and Costa Rica, which means I am fluent in Espanol. So if you get clientes or you need a translator to help out with that, I'd always love to. What we've been doing, and it's a lot of fun. Very passionate about it. So pleasure to be here. All right.
Very good.
It's Taylor Klein. I joined the Schumall team. I just got licensed last week. I'm from Central Ohio. I have 3 kids. Worked in construction and home lending. With all my experience before this, and super excited to get started.
All right, very good. Welcome. All right, let's move on. All right, we always celebrate first listings. We ring bells and all of that. So if you are a first listing, or I'm sorry, first closings, we ring the bell. But we have some first listings to celebrate as well. Dustin McQuaid, Hasina Nelson, but it's not Hasina's first ever. It's her first with Keller Williams Greater Columbus. Also, Jared West's first with Keller Williams Greater Columbus, who's back there. Nicole Ware, her very first. Riley McTegg's first with Keller Williams Greater Columbus, and Sam Rice first. So congratulations, everybody, on your first listing. First closings, that's what we ring the bell for. We have Angel Panette, Helen Riccardi's first with Keller Williams, Kate Shulaw's first with Keller Williams, because they've all been under Steve. Rima Riley's first with Keller Williams, and then Sarah Sullivan. So congratulations to all of you. If you haven't rang the bell, come see me. We need to make a video. All right. Also, our individuals that capped this month, we have Josh Nungesser from our Westerville location and Katie and Ken Richards from our Granville location. So capping is nice. 100% always feels good. Our team cappers, these are individuals who are on teams. So they're working under a team, but they have satisfied their team cap. And this month we had Lauren DeLeon Ziegfeld and Belinda Salisbury. Our head of the class is from down in Lancaster town, and that is Dre Singleton. So good job going to all those classes, Greg. And Pamela's doing our Lancaster meeting today. All right, let's look at the stats. So our top individuals written, and let me preface this by saying, you know how command is always changing. Well, they're changing our reporting. And so we had to last night at 6 o'clock, redo all of our report and stats numbers because the command reports were not where they should have been. So if we have missed anybody, don't get upset. Please just come see me. I think we have it all because we were able to snag our old reports after talking to our region and then Jennifer doing her magic for us. So if there's anything missing and you think that you got missed, please see me. I just want to preface with that. So our top individuals written volume for the month. On top, we had Michael Bean, followed by Jamie Nelson, Rima Bazarbashi, Nancy Steichlen, Mick Gordon, and Marilee Luca. So good job, you guys. Great month. It's for March. Our top individuals closed. We have kind of a little different group there. We've got Michael Bean still in the #1 spot, followed by Andre Karamians, Jamie Nelson, Marilee Luca, Cinnamon Doran, and Rima Bazarbashi. So nice job. Our top teams, and a team is a definition of 2 people. On top, we had the Odie team, followed by the one group, which is Jensen's group, the DeSena group, followed by the Balster Realty group, the Beck Hoppert group, and Team Chapman Dozer. So we've got like all of our offices represented in most of these, which is wonderful. Love it. So good job, guys. Our top teams closed volume. We kind of have the same groups here. The Odie team, Jensen's group, the DeSena group, Bolster Realty Group, Beck Hoppert, and then Team Chapman Dozer. Now our groups, that means there are 3 or more people on the team. In the number 1 slot, we had the Sullivan Group with 16 million plus. So I think there's some commercial stuff in there, if I were guessing a betting person. Followed by the Romanelli Group, Kathy Cairo Group, the Richards Group, Jansen Associates, Powerhouse Team, which is Tracy Kepper's group, Dixon Team, Capital Ohio, which is Jeff Kanowski's team, Brittany Cox Group, and Trailblazing Real Estate, which is Josh Nungesser's group. So nice, look at those, some nice big numbers. And then as far as closed goes, we have the same groups with the exception of, well, we'll just go through here. Sullivan's, followed by Romanelli's, Kathy Cairo's group, Richard's group, Tracy Keffer's group, Jansen Associates, the Dixon team, Brittany Cox group, Trailblazing, Josh Nungesser's, and the DeLeon group. So again, we've got a few more from some of our outside locations, which is awesome. Regional spotlight. The region sends us numbers every month of where some of our agents fit into the top for the whole region, which is 26 market centers in Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. And we've got the Odie team. They're 19th in the region, which is great for them. Nice job. And we've got this, as far as groups go, we've got the Sullivan Group as number 3 in the entire region. And then the Romanelli Group as number 18 in the entire region. So those are some nice accolades. And we as an office are number 2 in the entire region for bringing on new agents this year. So very good there. All right, we've got Pamela down in our Lancaster office, and she's got a couple tech tips to share. Go ahead, Pamela.
Hey, everybody. I just have this one April it's social media content. We're going to put this QR code on our Facebook group. You can scan this QR code and it gives you 30 ideas for social media content for the month of April. So it's pretty cool. If you're into the social media and desperately needing content, this is a pretty nice way to get it done. So that's all I have.
All right, thanks. Also, don't forget, whoop, hello. We have a YouTube channel. If you've missed a class that has been recorded, you can go to our YouTube channel and always find that. And you can get to it from the KW GC Agent Resources page, which is where you can find most everything about that you would need. Also, we have an office exclusive listing Facebook page. If you have an office exclusive that's not going to be in the MLS, you cannot share it with anybody that is outside of this brokerage, whether they're licensed or not. It can only be shared with our agents. So this is a place, if you have an office exclusive on our office exclusive Facebook page, it's a separate page, you can house these listings and share them with our agents. So you might be able to help someone sell. The reason why somebody might have an office exclusive is maybe there's a divorce situation and they don't want people to know that they're listing their house, or they may have some other reasoning. But anyway, so we just want everybody to know that that Facebook group is there and is only for our agents, no one from outside. Also, on every other Wednesday, we're doing a Keller Williams Greater Columbus Realtor Home Tour. This is where you can showcase your listings. You'll get a few minutes to speak about your listing, highlight it. The pictures will be shown. It's all done via Zoom. But this can also be for coming soon, and it can be for office exclusives because it's only our office invited to this. So if you want to get your listing on tour, we're getting traction. You know, the first week, I think we had 3, and then last week we had 10, 11. So we're getting some traction. So it's a great way to share your listings, whether they're on the market or not quite on, with our own agents. You know, that's one of the advantages of being part of a large office. So make sure that you get on this, and Jessica has actually been running that for us every 2 weeks. It was called Baptism by Fire. When we were supposed to do the first one, I was in the hospital and I said, Mick, could you do this? He goes, no, I won't be there. So kudos to Jessica. We'll fill her basket for grabbing that. She's doing a great job with it. So, all right. Real estate market update. Keller Williams International, you know, they have their own economist. And they are always researching what the numbers are nationally and so forth. Now they have a place where you can go for those updates. And this QR code, which will be on our slideshows, and we can put this on our Facebook page too, is a place that you can go get that information. All right, Megan, go ahead to the next slide. Here, come here, Megan.
Discuss the procedures. As much as we
can, we'd like to keep earnest money paperless, meaning paper checks, less, all the things. So if you have a commission coming through and you are able to deduct it from your commission at closing, and then we reimburse you back when we pay you out, really that's the quickest, most convenient, especially way for you guys, because you don't have to worry about requesting an earnest money check, coming here to pick it up. If you're in an outside office, it's way more convenient for you guys to be able to get those, get that handled, instead of having to, try to figure out how to get here and get a check. So if that's something you can just keep top of mind for when your closings come through, that would be great. And then this is the form. It's called the Earnest Money Disbursement Disclosure Form. If you can't remember, shoot me an email. I can tell you where to find it in Dotloop. I can shoot you a copy of it. But this is the form. This is all you need. You can just have it filled out and taken care of, put it in your loop, and it's good to go in terms of your earnest money getting back to you when you get paid out, instead of having to get a check and take it to closing and all that fun stuff. The only other thing I was going to say is that we are closed tomorrow for Good Friday. It's not going to affect any sort of commission processing procedure. So if you guys have a closing today, or if your wire is in, or your commission check is in, we won't, instead of that 2 o'clock deadline, we'll push it to 4 o'clock today. And then if your wire is posted by first thing in the morning, per our usual policy, you'll get processed and paid out tomorrow, just like normal. So just want to let you guys know that.
Right. Always make sure you're TCPA compliant. We just keep reminding everybody. Our ALC members that are in the room, do you guys have anything you want to share? We've got announcements about the social events coming in a second here, but if there's anything else you want to share, I just want to give you a moment to do so. These guys are your agent advocates, guys. These are the ones that are helping us formulate where we're moving forward in the office. Everybody's welcome to come to the ALC meetings. We had some guests last time, which was wonderful. If you want to be in the know, this is a great way to do so. So, if you guys have anything to add, any of you? Well, yeah, we'll get to that here in just a second. Very good, huh? It's on the calendar. Let me get to that slide. I don't know off the top of my head. So it's like the second week of the month, I think, on a Wednesday, Kimberly, but I can't tell you for sure. All right, Cinnamon, are you with us?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Cinnamon in the City.
Hello, everyone. I have collected some really cool information that I wanted to share with you. Some of it might be a little redundant because Vincent was here and he's one of the sources of a couple of my slides, because his 3 on Thursdays is super informative and I really benefit greatly from it, not only for myself as a resident of Columbus, but also as a real estate agent. So if you haven't subscribed to his 3 for Thursday, I would highly recommend sending him an email to ask to be added to that list. And he will send it out. I was walking my dog when I received 3 for Thursday today. So around 9:30 on Thursdays, you receive that information. And I was encouraged for this presentation to break up some of the information I'm going to share with you the way that he breaks it up. He breaks it up locally, statewide, and federal. So I'm going to do that. So the next slide, please.
We went ahead. So
that's okay.
We'll go back. Okay.
Okay. So this wasn't part of Vincent's 3 for 3, but I thought it was interesting, especially with us in Westerville moving. The city of Columbus is having a Shred for Hunger event where you can bring your documents to Shred, but they are also allowing you to drop off laptops, desktops, DVD scanners, printers, any type of e-shredding that you'd like to do forth e-waste, you can bring it to this event and they will shred it. Now, just keep in mind that it is for e-waste, like computers and electronics, not for kitchen appliances. So they are very specific. If you follow that link that I have listed as the source, it'll give you a breakdown of all of the things that they will accept and what they will not accept. But also in exchange, if you can, it's not required, but if you can donate hygienic and medical type of supplies, like combs and toothbrushes and tampons and condoms and Band-Aids, hand sanitizer, bar soap and deodorant, etc. So this is a great event. It is going to be on Saturday, May 10th from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
10 to
So you
1.
what did I say? Oh, yes, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sorry about that. And for more information, just follow the link on the source listed below on the slide. Hopefully you'll have access to these slides after our meeting. Next slide. I kind of went out of order, but federal news, this is something that I did pull from Vincent's 3 for Thursday, which I thought was very informative, which is starting or by May 25th, the FHA will remove eligibility for non-permanent residents. Up until that point, people that were not permanent residents could benefit from FHA, but by May 25th, it will not be so. And below that little line is the type of loans that will not qualify. So you have the manufacturer homes, property improvement loans, single family homes, and home equity loans. So again, if you would like more information, I would suggest that you follow the source website that I have listed below to get more information. Next slide. Now we're going to go back to Ohio. As of, effective July 1st, the House Bill 54, the $11 billion budget goes into effect. And it is the transportation budget, and it includes, you're going to start seeing some road work being done, or more than usual, possibly. It's going to help, this budget is helping to maintain the highways and the byways, the signals, the stop signs, the lights, etc. So you'll just start to realize around the state that there's going to be more work because that budget is going to be in effect.
Yeah, I heard 40 roundabouts in Delaware County.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. And again, go to the source directly to find out more information.
Okay. Go on to.
And then there's the 3 for 3.
Nope, go back.
Oh, and yes, okay. So just really exciting news. The Evite for the Affordable Housing Lender panel went out yesterday, and we have 20 registered participants, and I'm very excited about that. Currently, we have 6 lenders that will be presenting their affordable housing, their top affordable housing down payment assistance programs, and it will be a great opportunity for you to ask questions that you might have about affordable housing clients, because there will be Q&A after their presentations, and we would love for you to come and educate yourself so that you can educate your clients on the resources that are available to them in the state of Ohio. And then on May 12th, we have the Bloom 614 presentation. You're going to see an Evite and more information come out about that. And then there's God bless you, there's an OFA presentation on May 19th, which will be back at Easton. And it will be giving you updates on the Ohio Financing Agency updates, like the tax credit and other programs. So if you'd like to learn, empower yourself to take care of your clients in that affordable housing range, that would be a great presentation to participate in. It's also a CE class, so it's an hour of elective CE. And all of these events are from 11 to 1 p.m. On the first 3 Mondays of May.
Okay.
And refreshments are provided. We do have sponsors confirmed for all 3 days.
All right. Very good. Go ahead.
There should be one more slide.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, well then, there's no slide for it, but there is some information about awards. Award season is not quite here yet, but I do have dates for Columbus Realtors awards and Ohio Realtors Awards. And if you are a realtist, those awards. So there we go. Ohio Realtors Award deadline or application deadline is July 14th. So you can just have that in the back of your mind. And if you missed that July 14th deadline, July 21st is the absolute last day that you can apply for their awards. And there will be $100 extra late fee associated with that, with your entry if it's late. Columbus Realtors has changed their date. Usually it's in November, but this year it's going to be October 31st. So keep that in mind. And if you are a Columbus Realtist, they haven't established their deadline date, but it will be around mid-October because they are also changing their schedule for their celebration and their award ceremony. So you can be out on the lookout from each of those associations via email and probably social media as well. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Cinnamon. This is all of the stuff that's on the calendar, but I really want to just kind of talk about a few of the special events coming up to make sure that everybody knows, responds to their evites. Guys, our evites are so important because a lot of we have sponsors come to these events and they want to bring refreshments for everyone. If we don't have a good head count, we can't have enough for everyone. So, you know, we talked about even checking the box. If you haven't RSVP'd, then maybe, you know, you have to wait till everybody that has gets a lunch kind of thing. So just please RSVP. It really helps all of us. As Jensen mentioned, and I'm going to go to the actual, well, we've got the agent intelligence. Lauren Lucas, she actually works out of the Keller Williams Classic Properties office. And she and her partner, they ended up earning over $300,000 this year. And I listened to her on a panel at regional level. And they've created artificial intelligence bots and trained them so that they talk like them, work like them, to automate so much of their business. It's amazing. She's actually being paid to travel all over the United States to share what she's done because she has done it at such a high level. This is a huge opportunity for us because she's coming as a favor to do it for us in our office on Monday afternoon. You don't want to miss this. If you understand what artificial intelligence is, it's okay. She's going to actually give you a plan, dumb it down, so to speak, to at least get you moving in that right direction. So as Jensen mentioned, she's really honed in. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but this is a class not to miss. And it's going to be a 90-minute class on Monday. Let's go ahead, Jess. Go ahead. As Megan mentioned, our offices are closed tomorrow for Good Friday. We have our headshots. We do it once a month. You can come in if you need an updated headshot. So like if you're like Dave and all dressed to the nines, you want to make sure you're here. So May 2nd, June is our next one. Then we have June 6th, July 11th, and August 1st. Also, our social committee has put a lot of great events together for this year. This is just at a snapshot. We'll get to the night at the races in a minute. We'll get to Red Day in a minute. But we've also got an outing coming up on June 6th, our company picnic, July 17th. September 20th, there's going to be a wine and whiskey night with a bonfire. October 6th, Jefferson Country Club's golf outing, and then our holiday party. So that way you can get all these dates on your calendar. Go ahead, Jess. All right, are we going to have sound or no? Da 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 da. All right. I should have brought my trumpet, right? All right, night at the races. That's coming up really just around the corner. May is going to be here before you know it. It's virtual horse racing. So races are already ran. They'll be shown up here on the big screen. what you can do now, and what you should do now is buy horses. It's $10 for a horse. And we're going to give you a QR code here in a minute to be able to do that. If your horse wins that night, you win money. People actually bet. So you want to bring cash to bet. There's also prizes for having your best spectator, which is the Kentucky Derby hat. And I don't know what they call the guy. I think they just call them derbies for the guys. They're the guy hats. There's going to be food. There's going to be refreshments. There's going to be someone calling the races. There's going to be gambling in the back, poker tables. It's really, really a fun night. So get involved. And the reason we do this is not only to have fun, but we're raising money for KW Cares. And that is a worthy organization. And I've asked my friend Arnold, who is one of our biggest KW Cares ambassadors, to share what his ideas around KW Cares. So while I get the mic back to Arnold, go ahead and take a picture of the Venmo code to be able to pay for your horses. Or you can contact the Dixons. There's Zelle to be able to do that. But that's something that we've got to get everybody doing here. So Arnold, I'm going to bring you the mic. Are you going to come up or? All right, you're coming up. Get out of the way. See, he's so bossy to me. He's coming in hot. Watch out. I'm going to put this lapel mic on you after you get turned around here. All right. So anyway, I asked Arnold just to talk a little bit about what KW Cares means to him. And I'll just turn over to you because you're never at a loss for words.
I'm a little shy.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, because it's after 12. Hey, about 15 minutes before this meeting started, I received a phone call that I was going to be sitting in front of you talking today. So what comes out of my mouth right now is just off the cuff. I'm not prepared for this. I'm shy. Dale asked me to talk about KW Cares and our culture. I think I received the unofficial Ambassador of Culture award today. I hope it comes with a stipend. So I've been in this business 22 years. I've been with 3 different brokerages. They're all amazing in their own way. 2016, I was looking for something more than just a place for a great commission split or technology. I learned that KW offered the best in the city of both of those things. However, money and technology wasn't enough for me at the time. I was looking for some meaning behind what I was doing. I came here because of the win-win mindset of this company. This company looks after everyone, not just our clients or our agents, but we're trained to think about the other agent we're dealing with and their clients as well. We're looking for fairness across the board. And that mindset is what attracted me to this company. Money's great, technology's great, but when you get the opportunity to care for others, it comes back to you 100 times more than you would ever imagine. Fast forward, after coming to this company, after a couple of years, some of you know this, I was put in this chair. For the first 2 years after my accident, my wife and I did not have an income. The people in this organization, this office, and the people that I love a lot in Westerville, if you're still with me, I love you, made fundraisers. I had fundraisers in our honor. It has proved that it's not just about the money. It's about taking care of our people. My family was taken care of. I make a donation every closing of $100 back to KW Cares. If I could do more, I would. People, this business is more than just making cash. It's about taking care of everybody in your life. If you can do your part to help KW Cares, you are helping people across this country that you may never meet, but you'll make an impact on their lives. And that meaning has more impact than just your GCI. So coming up on Red Day, find a time to give back. Come in here and help us make blankets. Go to the Ronald McDonald House, roll your sleeves up and help feed people that are just in a really bad place. I love this organization It brings me more than money. It gives me meaning in my life. Does that help you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, no.
I did it in front of your wife. It's okay. You know, there's lots of ways for you to give back. You can do it at your closings. I give money out of every pay to KW Cares because I've seen it help 7 of our agents over my tenure with this office and other agents of my tenure at Keller Williams. So it's a really worthy cause. You can do it by having fun at a night at the races. You can do it by supporting our golf outing in the fall. You can do it by helping with Red Day. And the Red Day is coming up, as Arnold mentioned. And this year, you're going to have 2 days of Red Day. Red Day was established to commemorate Mo Anderson's birthday. It's the second Thursday of each May when they have Red Day. So this year, Ronald McDonald House, for those of you that don't know, it's an organization with Children's Hospital. It's actually the largest Ronald McDonald House in the nation. And think about if you had a sick child and you lived 4, 6, maybe even more hours away from a hospital, and your child was there and you needed a place to stay. Hotel rooms get really expensive, etc. Ronald McDonald's House is a place for those families to go stay, get meals, get support, so they can go back and be with their child and be that child's advocate while they're in the hospital. So every family that comes into Ronald McDonald House gets a blanket, and they're tie blankets. You do not have to be a seamstress. You do not have to be gifted. If you can tie a knot, you can help us make blankets. This training room is going to be turned into a blanket making factory on the Thursday of Red Day. On Friday of Red Day, we're going to be making meals at Ronald McDonald House, and we've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for each shift, they need 10 people. So you can sign up for those shifts. So anyway, the QR code's on here, and you can do both. You can do a shift each day. You can just do one, whatever you want. But May 8th and May 9th are really special days. And we have a way to make a difference in our own community. So I highly encourage you to give back and help in some way. Great, thank you. All right, KW in the news. This is international news. Expansions and celebrations. So we're expanding into the Cayman Islands. So another good place to go visit, right? KW featured as the top franchise for women in 2025. And Chief Accounting Officer Nick Waltman named the 2025 Finance Leader list by Housing Wire. So just keeping you up to date on different things that are being said about our honors of Keller Williams. Don't forget the podcast. Like I said before, you guys drive all over the place. Stick them on while you're driving. Learn more about the business. These are some of the more recent ones that have come out, as well as these. Keller Inc. Jay Papasan has written a new book, life-changing publication, and it is available for pre-order now. So Rookie Real Estate Agent. So just wanted to let you know that's available as a pre-order. There are some MAPS events coming up, Critical Conversations in Real Estate, which is a digital event on May 12th and 13th, and then Coaching Skills Camp. I personally, that's one of the few events at Keller Williams I've never attended. And I've heard it's an amazing event. If you have a team, learn to coach your team or just sharpen your own skills. Go ahead. Mega Camp. James, would you mind hitting the front lights? Because that's really hard to see. Thank you. Mega Camp is coming August 11th through the 14th in San Antonio. If you're tired of going to Austin and want to see another city in Texas, great place to go, San Antonio Riverwalk and all of that fun stuff. But the biggest thing is it's a day and a half of listening to the best of the best agents, what their practices are with nuggets that you can bring away. So we'll have a lot of fun, I promise, in addition to that. But get signed up before the pricing goes up, which is April 14th. Oh, that's past. Never mind. It will go up again, though. All right. Other upcoming events, there's an inclusion and belonging for Arab American Heritage Panel Month coming up April 29th. And then KWYP is doing an Onward Bold April 9th through May 19th. Bill Skurbitz.
Hey, just want to put up the updates. Tariffs, the market has not really been very friendly to us. Things seem to settle down. We have a 9-day hold on that. But during that period from like April 2nd through about last Friday, rates did go up depending on your score and your borrower's down payment, 1/4 to 1/2 point. So if you have any buyers out there that haven't talked to their lender in the last couple of weeks and were kind of toward their high end of their qualifying, it may be a good idea to have them revisit that. I did have one client that we literally trimmed their budget back by about $30,000, just over about a 3-day period with rates increasing. The other thing is one of the benefits and one of the things I love about being a quote unquote in-house lender here is I get to have conversations every day with real estate agents at different levels of production. And this week, one of the things that really struck me is that although everybody seems to be holding their own and Keller Williams Greater Columbus is outperforming most of your competitors in the MLS, a lot of the conversations are, how are things going? And I just get okay. No one seems to really be thriving right now. We know this market is tough. Affordability is a little bit of a reach for a lot of buyers. And we're all fighting, myself included. I told a few of the agents, this was probably my worst first quarter since the crash in 2008, 2009. But one of the things that we can do to help protect your earnings, protect your income is an additional revenue stream. And I know Dayla has talked about this a few times, but with the Keller Agent Plus program, you have the opportunity to obtain a mortgage LO license, and you can be paid a 1/2 point on the loan amount of all of your buyers' transactions. That's an increase of 16 to 20%. So if things were to stay the way they are, and this year is challenging, maybe flat, maybe a little bit of a decrease compared to what you did last year, one way to protect your family and your earnings is to get into that. And we're slowly getting some adoption now. In fact, I was talking to Tracy Dixon yesterday. She started her classes. She's been through a lot. It's been really a kind of a crazy year for her, but she's making the move. And we have a few other agents that are in the process and a couple that have come on board. If anybody has any interest, please text me or call me 740-504-6745. Let's set up a 15-minute meeting or Zoom. Let me show you the presentation. And the reason I bring this up again is you have all seen the moves, or you've probably read about the moves, right? Rocket Mortgage bought Redfin, right? They want to, Zillow has a mortgage company, but this week it was announced they're in negotiations to buy one of the top 10 retail lenders in the country. Why are these companies merging? Well, one, consumers are looking for a one-stop shop. They trust you guys. You've built rapport. They trust you to help them with their largest investment that they're probably going to have in their life. You can be center of the transaction 100% and control the fiduciary responsibility you have. These companies see this, they want to control it from lead to closing, and they're also getting additional revenue sources. They get the real estate commission, they get the loan commission, they get title, they get insurance. So this is a way for you to very easily get in. And I was on a mastermind call yesterday with some agents that have already been in, and there's one of the top 100 agents in the Keller Williams system out of Chicago said this was the biggest return on investment of his time that he has put into his business. Because literally, once you're licensed, it takes you 3 to 5 minutes to start the process. Myself, as your senior loan officer, does everything all the way through the transaction, and you get closed. So minimum time investment, 16 to 20% additional per transaction. We should talk. So sorry, I took so much.
No,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Go ahead. I don't think we have anybody here from Rapid today. Don't forget Mojo Dialer is still a great option. If you are doing a 7th level open house, one of the things you need to do is be calling around that neighborhood. That makes it easy for you. Also, don't forget about our little video room over here. It's a great resource. Go ahead. I don't think we have anybody here from Northwest Platinum today either. And Mark Purcell with America's Preferred Home Warranty isn't here, but again, please use that. We'll do the Queen of Hearts during lunch. And we would like to thank our sponsor, and we'll introduce them to come in from Bob Webb Homes. Come on in.
No, I don't. Thank you.
Oh, here, let me give you them. Okay.
So it's actually, I'm sure. There you go. Thank you. Pass those around. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Jensen and Paul George, who are one of the reasons that I'm here today. I have worked with some of you. I recognize faces, Rima, of course. I appreciate you taking the time. I know I only have 5 or 7 minutes here. So I'm going to be speaking about Bob Webb just as a builder and who we are. We are the most longstanding custom builder in town, been around for 65 years, and we are known for our quality, both like behind the walls and obviously interior on the inside as well as far as our finishes. One of the reasons I'm here in particular is because we have a brand new community coming that I'll talk about in a little bit that is nearby that I think will be important for you guys to know in terms of price. I just heard someone speaking about hard times. We are working really hard at getting some communities and trying to bring the price points down because we know it's hard, hard times for everybody. But in terms of Bob Webb, I'm assuming everyone in here has heard of Bob Webb before. We have been around a very long time. We build mostly Dublin, Powell. We're now out here this way in New Albany and Westerville. I have been here for 6 years with Bob Webb, and I work in all the communities, can sell in the different communities that we work in, both empty nester and single family homes, again, completely custom. Some of our empty nester products, we do start with floor plans, but the floor plans, we're still custom. So some of those floor plans, can be changed and bumped and moved and things like that. I also do build on your own lot. So that's something that's very important to know. If a client has their own lot, we can come out as a builder and kind of help facilitate that whole process. We do things a little bit differently. We may not be the least expensive builder in town, but it's because of the quality. It's what comes included at the base price. And then it's also just what we do. Like it's the kind of insulation we use. It's what we do on our exteriors. We use Andersen windows. We do a lot of the James Hardy, but it's the Color Plus line where the color is baked in at the factory. It's made out of cement board. We're the only builder that does it for the trim around the windows. And then like the eaves of your roof. So, this is getting a little deep into the weeds on the quality, but just know that Bob Webb as a builder, you're not going to get a better quality builder. So that's number one. Process. So obviously we love realtors. I really look at it like it's a true partner. Working for the same goal to help get your clients happy into a home. I'm here for you 100%. If you don't know a lot about building, that's my job. So we're a partnership on working to try and lead the client to get what they want in a home. And so you can rely on me. I've worked with Rima to sell a couple homes. I'm working with her right now on a client that we're trying to find a place for. Hopefully Rima can testify to the fact that I'm always available via text, email, phone, whatever the client's needs are. Again, process. So Bob Webb pays 3%, always 3%. We pay half at dig, the dig of the home, and then we pay the rest at close. In terms of registering your clients, you all have my card on your folders. We don't expect you to be there. We know clients go out and about sometimes without you. If you have a client and you think building is a possibility for them, register them. All you have to do is pick up the phone, send me a text, send me an email. Hey, I'd like to register these clients. I will get them registered with you. If they go out and about without you and don't mention your name, we will still, we say after one meeting with the client that we as salespeople are also trained to say, hey, are you working with an agent? So obviously very important to get your name with them. Process wise, again, like I said, you don't have to know anything about building. That's what I'm here for. It's certainly appreciated if you do know that. In terms of in your folders, a couple of things, if you wouldn't mind, on the right side, second page, here is more information about our quality and features. I would just keep this with you at all times. On the other page is going to be all the neighborhoods that we're building in. These are our communities. Like I said, we also do build on your own lot. We build obviously single family homes. We're building in Plain City, which really is very close to Dublin, Jerome Village, which I'm sure you know about. This is kind of on the other side of town. But one of the main reasons I'm here is what's coming here in New Albany and also Gahanna, which is we are starting a community. If you look on the front page of the other side, this map here, this is what's exciting. We've got Woodland Preserve coming. It's on New Albany Reynoldsburg Road. It's right next to the EBCON communities. We got 58 lots coming. They are all slabs with the ability to do an upstairs. Again, Bob Webb quality. They're going to be starting in the 700s, which we know, especially for Bob Webb, is very hard. But 58 lots, you're going to have a lot of wooded lots as well here. This is going to be really cool, something different for us. I know Jensen is really into technology. We are going to have something out in this community where the buyer is going to be able to walk in and they're going to be able to build their house in about 2 hours. I'm not physically building, but see what their house could possibly look like in about 2 hours. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. So we're super excited about the possibilities here and just getting people, getting people excited and being able to have a visual of what that looks like. I haven't seen the technology yet. I know that they're working through it right now, but these lots are going to be available 1st of June. I know the streets are going, you're going to see a lot of like tractors and dirt moving right now, but it moves pretty quick. Go ahead. It's going to be, yeah, this one's going to be Gahanna. Yeah. School districts, Gahanna. Yeah. And again, you don't have to be 55 or older. I know on the New Albany side, we have a neighborhood over there where one person has to be 55 or older. This is not the case. So we are going to have floor plans here. 1 second, I'll get your question. We are going to have floor plans in this community. We are going to, again, do something a little bit different. Being custom, normally we bump and change and move, and then it just ends up really making the projects. I mean, people typically do a lot with Bob Webb. We try to simplify it and people always come in because we're Bob Webb and we're willing to bump and change and move. This community is going to be more, we're going to have choices where to try and make it quick. We're going to have elevations to choose from. We're going to have design choices to choose, packages to choose from, and again, floor plans as well. There are no basements. No basements here. Now, the next community I'll talk about is one that's already been out there for a while, which is Woodhaven. We can do basements out there. Of course, basements always add on more cost. It's the digging that's the most expensive part. Finishing is $55 a square foot, the least expensive home to finish or part of the home. But anyway, we think this is going to be amazing. They're going to be slabs with the options of upstairs and 3-car garages. I think 47 out of the 58 lots have the ability to have 3-car garages, which neighboring EBCON, again, EBCON, I mean, they just open their communities and they're all sold out. We are going to be really price point, we're going to be matching them in price points, but quality wise, and again, never dogging on another builder. Their business plan is amazing and they sell out like that. But the quality of Bob Webb compared to an EBCON here and here in terms of the materials that we use. So anyway, I mean, that community is sold out right next to it anyway. But the ability to have 3-car garages as well. So good location. Any more questions about Woodland Preserve? I know Jensen has agreed to kind of help me get the word out in terms of in educating people on this. certainly you can call me. I work, you know, kind of all over. Right now I'm over on the Dublin sort of side of town, but I'm over here all the time. So, in addition, so I put a couple, just the maps of the communities I'm talking about on this side. We have Woodhaven. Woodhaven has been around. It is across from Bevelheimer Park. It has been around for a little while. We actually knew about it long before Intel was ever even announced. You know, a lot of times you're working on land 2-3 years before it actually comes to fruition. It just so happened that we broke ground last year. We do have an empty nester side as well as single family side. So we've been kind of listening to the people. It's been a little slow moving. We do have our specs sold out there. We got a couple people building right now. But on this map, on the front 2 lots here, the big lots that are an acre, we are bringing a show home. If you look on the front of your folder, this was the parade home that won 2 years ago out in Dublin, in Jerome Village. We are building something similar. It's, I think, broken ground or about to break ground on lot number 1 in Woodhaven. And this is going to be a model that we're going to have. This is going to be an incredible, spectacular showcase of what Bob Webb can do. We have decided, so we were using the James Hardy Color Plus in this neighborhood. Well, we have made part of the neighborhood executive lots where we made them bigger lots, and they're all going to be brick, and they're going to have the more New Albany look. We're hearing that that's really what people want. So we've got some exciting things coming there. We've got specs going in the ground. And then on the single or on the empty nester side too, you can have basements. This is the one community though that you do have to have 55 or older. And then lastly, I don't know how familiar anyone is with Evans Farm. We just purchased 24 lots in there. We are going to be able to do single family homes in there, lower levels, in the 700s, 800s, which again, I mean, we have a lot of people that come to us that have a $800 to $1 million budget, and I mean, it's hard to touch right now in custom new construction, you know, to get that price point. Now, they're not going to be huge homes, but for those people starting out, or people that don't want a lot of space, we're having a lot of people now, I think, that are more about simplifying, you know, and that's kind of what Evans Farm is all about. So again, we're back in Evans Farm, and here is the map for it. Mostly, I just appreciate anybody giving me a call if you have a client, if you just have questions. So again, one thing with building, right? You know, we've got the spring market where we're getting multiple offers again on houses. You know, there's not a lot popping up because people are afraid to make moves. If you can't find a house, call me, because on this inventory sheet that I put out here, the ones that have squares are the only ones listed. So I might have a home that you might not even know about that's not listed. The only way you're going to know is if you call me, or obviously you could call Bob Webb, but I would prefer if you call me, and I will help guide you. And you never know. I was working with a client that had a $900,000 budget, and the realtor brought him out, and I found out they were looking at, you know, X, Y, and Z. And all of a sudden they changed their journey and where they wanted to be. And then I had a house somewhere else, but it was $200,000 over their budget. And the realtor, I said, just take them over there. Let's see what we can do. We'll work with them. They ended up spending more than what they had said that their budget was, because they fell in love with the house. It wasn't listed. So anyway, you just never know. I don't like to put people in boxes. You know, that's also my job sometimes to ask those questions alongside of you. Go ahead.
Construction loan, or are you holding that and then transferring it?
So all spec homes, obviously, we're already carrying the loan, build from the ground up. We always recommend a construction loan. Every once in a while, we get like a new doctor who maybe doesn't have 2 years of tax, you know, returns to show. And so sometimes they have us carry the loan, which we can do. It benefits the client, if you're familiar with construction loans, to do a construction loan on their own. So, but we're open to it. And also, I guess I just want to leave with, you know, in these tough times for clients to spec homes, if you can get a client into a spec home, do it. A spec home, we always have a little bit more room to work with. We don't have quite the, you know, money behind it in a spec home. We always build our spec homes to be neutral, but also have a lot of upgrades in them. We pretend that we're a client and that we're building a house, and what is it that the client is going to want in that home that we know they're going to get back out of it in the future. So anyway, any other questions about Bob Webb and the communities nearby? Again, the inventory sheet will share all the communities that we're in. We certainly have lots available in all of these as well. Anything?
Gonna say that I work with Julie, she, I think work with, she makes things, easy, no pressure and, give option and, work with you, on your client's terms.
Thank you, Rima. She's been awesome too. I do have, of course, I brought lunch. I picked a place that nobody probably knows about, but it's one of my favorite little places. It's called BFit Cafe. It's in Powell. It's next to the Victorias on Sawmill Parkway. It's my favorite little healthy place. I brought wraps from there. If you have a chance to snag the, what is it? The Asian Thai, that's my favorite. Also, you know, pens, golf tees. I have these little books. This is specific to Bob Webb, but this is something that we provide for our clients. We provide this little book where it's just 100 questions to make sure you're asking your builder. Because a lot of people come in and they've never built before and they really just don't have any sense of, you know, what to do and they're relying on us. So we give them little tools. Another thing that we're doing that's brand new that I think is really awesome is that the closing, we're giving people a full day of handyman work, 8 hours of a handyman to come in and hang their blinds and, you know, hang their pictures, hang their mirrors, do whatever it is that they, if they don't use the full 4 hours, they still get 4 more hours. So anyway, just it's the little extra things that we do at Bob Webb that really make a difference and hopefully ultimately make your clients happy. Anything? Jensen? Sure, whatever you want to do. Yeah, happy to do it. So thank you so much. I didn't really actually realize how many people I knew in this office. You know, you get a lot of realtors, Keller Williams. I don't always tune into what office they're in, but I'm certainly happy to see the familiar faces. I know I've worked with Cinnamon before as well. And thank you so much for your time and staying the extra, you know, time afterwards. I really, really appreciate it. And I kind of want to come to that AI event. Am I allowed to come to that? That sounds amazing. So.
We do the cleanup park stuff, we do lunch, and from what I understand, I think we've got pieces coming too. Oh, they're here, okay. So
Great.
they're healthy and. Anything else for our agenda? Thanks for coming.